myself inside all this tension, a feeling I never was expecting. I don't see the pros, don't know the cons, forget the whys. Do you know why?
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this podversation. I wanted to talk about this. I have not discussed this guy in quite some time. The last time I had a podversation about anything that involved him, it was probably over a year ago. Black Enterprise magazine, they spoke about him, and it was in regards to some information that had come out with Darius Cooks, and I believe at the time it was some news about a young lady that was working at one of his restaurants that he used to have at the time, who had claimed that she did not get paid. And also, I can't remember the guy's name, but he has a feature, like regular expose show on an Atlanta news station. I believe it's, forgive me because I am not in Atlanta. I don't remember. But anyway, Howard Clark, I believe his name is. Howard Clark or Clark Howard. But it was, let's just say Darius Cooks has a lot of controversy surrounding him. He's also known as Dariuscrooks. Obviously, that is not something that he has given himself the moniker of. He has given himself the Darius Cooks moniker. I can't remember his last name, but I used to follow him many years ago on Periscope, okay? And I had even been to his restaurant once that he used to have in Atlanta called Greens and Gravy. The food was okay, but he has a lot of controversy surrounding him. You just Google him and you probably see a lot of it, but I'm going to put a link in the description box because a YouTuber that goes by the name of Vel B Reacts, he has a playlist on Darius Cooks and exposing a lot of the things that he has done over the years when it comes to his businesses, how he has allegedly ripped a lot of people off, even Val himself, because he had some business with him back in the day as well. But at any rate, he does not come across to me as problematic or someone that's just trying to out somebody or share information about somebody because he's on a revenge tour of some sort, if you will. But people are going to believe what they're going to believe because as much as many people may not care for Darius Cooks, he obviously has a lot of people that follow him as well and like him, mainly women. And, you know, and that's the thing that I have about women a lot of times, because we can be sometimes our own worst enemies and our own downfall, because we tend to gravitate towards people and things that really don't serve us and don't mean us any good, and would fight other people to defend someone that really wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. I believe that, in my personal opinion, Darius is extremely egotistical, narcissistic. I don't think his cooking is the greatest, and he has been called out by famous chefs like Sonny Anderson for fraud, and also he has been exposed for doxing people online, and it's just a lot. And people like that, in my personal opinion, are dangerous, so I wouldn't want to have anything to do with them. I wouldn't support them in any way, but that's me. But he obviously gets a lot of support because he's always bragging about how he's a multimillionaire. But this multimillionaire, he had multiple restaurants. He closed all of them. But in the light of closing those restaurants, he was claiming mental health issues. And my biggest issue with people who use mental health issues as a cop-out, especially myself being the wife of a veteran and someone who has been diagnosed clinically with post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't really take kindly and lightly to people who, like him, are out here doing the things that they do, but then in a clutch, they will use mental health as a way to be taken seriously by people or to have people go easy on him, but at the same time, he responds to people rudely. He doxed people, women, like saying he doesn't give a F about the people's kids and all kinds of stuff like that. It's just a lot of disgusting behaviors that I have seen. I don't follow him anymore. I haven't followed him in years. But of course, when stuff like this comes out, this is how I see it, because I don't intently follow him. I haven't and I won't. But I wanted to talk about this because it's funny to me how recently Keith Lee, he went viral, not something that he was intending to do when it comes to the Atlanta restaurants and some experiences that he had. But he seems to be someone that, even if people don't really care for his reviews, he doesn't seem to come across in a way that is mean and hurtful. And there's another guy by the name of, I believe his name is Damon Drops on social media and YouTube. And my husband, he watched him a good bit. He does food reviews, and he comes across to me as very genuine. And I heard about him doing food reviews before I heard anything about Darius Cooks doing food reviews. So when I heard that he's doing food reviews, I didn't think that this was something that he was doing as a good thing. I already kind of felt like he's probably doing food reviews, and the way he's probably going about it is not conducive to any real business. And then to be someone who actually had restaurants that, in my personal opinion, failed, it to me would come across as you just don't have good intentions. In my personal opinion, I don't believe that he has good intentions when it comes to him doing food reviews, and, by the way, doing them in Black restaurants, and not in them, but about them. And the way he speaks about some of these places is just... Anyway, I'm going to play this clip, guys, because he is claiming that his life was threatened, and he filed a complaint for simple battery and assault against a guy in Miami who he says pulled up on him, who's the owner of a restaurant called The Licking, that he did not have good things to say about. So let's just go ahead and get into this clip.
I was live on this page at Arlene's, and when I left Arlene's, we left Arlene's to come to another restaurant. So we got out the car and drove to come to this other restaurant. What's up, man? I'm good. How you doing? And so we're here, and there's no parking. So we're driving around looking for a parking spot. Right. In fact, we found a parking spot the next block over from where the restaurant is that we were going to. So there's no way that somebody would have known where we were, because we don't even know where the hell we are. We don't know where we were going. We have no idea where we are. So we finally found a park. As a matter of fact, I'll show you where we parked so you can actually see it. And you can kind of see I'll walk you through what happened. Here's the police. So I got one police there. Another one's across the street. And we're about to file a report for simple battery and assault with the Miami Police Department, just FYI. Okay, so we're driving around looking for parking, right? So this black minivan is ours. This is what we rented for Dining with Darius Cooks, this black minivan right here, right? So Corey is driving. I get out of the car. Someone approaches me from this parking lot right here, right? So somebody's parked in this parking lot. There's two cars here. There's a black Toyota Sienna and a Wagoneer. The guy, E-Class, comes out of the Sienna and he approaches me right here, okay, by the car. Now, I'm putting in the license plate because we got to pay for parking. So the phone is in my hand while I'm pulling in the license plate on the back of the car. I'm standing literally right here. This is where I'm standing. And he walks up toward me, all right? He walks up toward me. He says to me, I'm E-Class and I want to talk to you. That's what he said. He said, I'm E-Class, I want to talk to you. It happened so fast. Unfortunately, I couldn't get what he was wearing. The shit just happened in 2 seconds. So it was like, and then, I don't know these people. So I don't know if he's coming up to say, like the guy just walked past just now and said, hey, what's up, chef? I don't know if he's just saying, hey, love your work. Or if he's saying, hey, fucking hate you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what he approached me for. So me and Corey are both on guard. So we kind of step back. So my phone is in my hand, obviously unprotected. He grabs the phone out of my hand and puts the phone in his pocket. So then Corey has his camera in his hand and he walks toward Corey and he tells Corey like 3 times, I'm going to kill you, to Corey. Right? He said, I'm going to kill you. So he it's acting like he's going to grab the camera from Corey, but Corey put the camera back in the car so he can kind of protect himself. And when he realized Corey was about to start recording, that's when he gave me my cell phone back, turned around, walked away. He got in his car, and the reason I couldn't get his license plate is because he was backed in. So this is the lot that he was in. Right here. There's Corey right there. But this is the lot he was in. So this is where his car was parked. He backed. You see how this car is facing that way? The front of his car was facing me. So because the front of his car was facing me, so we couldn't see the back of his car. So I couldn't see the license plate. But it don't matter because now we know who the hell he is. His name is E-Class. He confirmed that. That's how I know who he is. The picture online, all his photos, because he's a popular person, all his photos match who the hell we saw. So it's definitely him. His fingerprints are on my phone. So when the detectives get here, they're going to swab the phone and get the fingerprints off so that now we have concrete proof. How did my cell phone obtain your fingerprints? So he gave it back, and then he ended up backing out, and the person that was with him, they ended up driving forward. And so when I was on the phone with the police, I was able to get that license plate. But that wasn't the car he was in. That was whoever was with him or whoever drove over here with him. I was able to get that license plate. And then that's the one I gave to the police. So physically, I'm fine, right? Physically, I'm not harmed. Physically, I'm not okay. Just mentally very, very shaken up by the whole thing. Not shaken up to the point where, I am not going to do the work, or not shaken up to the point where I'm not going to do restaurant reviews, because that is not stopping. We talking about a little baby.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. And listen, a lot of people have thoughts, and the majority of the thoughts about him and what he's doing obviously are not the best, and I would agree. But I was laughing when he was speaking because I don't believe him. I'm not saying that the guy didn't come up on him and maybe shake him up a little bit, but do you really think that this guy threatened to kill him because of this negative review, which I'm going to read, by the way? He says, and he has a picture of his plate or whatever. I don't know if he got his food to go or what. I don't know what the food is. It looked like maybe fried turkey wings or something, sweet potatoes and collard greens. But he says, I just left, and he tagged the restaurant now. So it's not like he was just typing something up and somebody shared it with them. I just left at the Licking Miami. It's complete trash. BS. And he wrote out the profanity. I'm just not speaking it. Everything about this place is the pits. The food, horrific. The service, horrific. Why the F would you open a restaurant and ain't bleep about it good? Support this BSA restaurant if you want to. They'll never see me again. Attitudes, bad service, and horrific food. And what's ironic is everything that he said at the end of that is like him describing himself. Like, why would they want to see you again? I don't think any restaurant, white, black, Asian, Arab, Indian, Thai, Italian, Mexican, I don't think any restaurant would really want to serve him. And I'm not saying that anyone should discriminate against a person for their ethnicity, but I definitely believe in discrimination against people with nasty, funky attitudes. Absolutely. As a small business owner myself, I don't know how I would react if someone left a review about my business the way that he did. Everyone has the right to their opinion and to share their experience, but the way he spoke about it, support this BSA restaurant if you want to. See, this is the stuff that pisses me off when it comes to some people, and I'm just going to speak it. A lot of Black people, when they leave reviews for businesses, they don't just leave a review about their experience maybe not being the best, but it's also like they're trying to tear the business apart and destroy it and tell people not to go there, because everyone has their own individual experiences. Now, there may be some places where a lot of people have bad experiences more than good experiences, but for him to be a former business owner and restaurateur, to me, he sounds like he has a grudge and he's here to like set all the other Black businesses on fire in a negative way, because I never knew about Keith Lee before that news broke a couple of weeks ago about his situation. But a lot of people were saying how he has positively impacted a lot of those restaurants. This doesn't sound like someone that is trying to help anyone. This sounds like he is like hurt and he wants to hurt other Black business owners. That's what it sounds like to me, you know. But when I said it sounds like he's describing himself in the end, he says attitudes, bad service, and horrific food. You know, like a lot of people have said that about his places, about the food. A lot of people have said that about his businesses when he were in business, about the service, and definitely attitudes, what is in the head trickles down to the body. So if this is his attitude, can you imagine the type of attitude that the people, for the most part, who were working in his restaurant establishments had? Give me a freaking break. And I don't know if you can look up the reviews, because just because the businesses are closed doesn't mean the reviews are gone. You can look up the reviews for his restaurants to see what people were saying about it. I'm just saying, this is not helpful to anyone to say it's complete trash, BS. Everything about this place is the pits, the food, the service, horrific. Why the F would you, like, if he, oh my God, if he wrote reviews like this about a white-owned business, can you imagine? Can you imagine? So, I mean, to me, it's laughable that he's saying that this man that called himself E-Class, the owner of thelicking Miami, say, hey, I'm E-Class, I'm going to kill you. I think it's funny. I don't believe that the man actually said that. I believe that he played it up to make it seem like it's worse, because for him to write on social media, but ironically, it's also a restaurant that is, I don't know if it's co-owned or just endorsed by DJ Khaled. But DJ Khaled responded to him and he said, my personal favorite is at thelicking Miami, and I watch E build it ground up to the Miami staple it is now. At Darius Cooks, I respect the platform and opinion, but let's not let one experience leave a bad taste in your mouth. LOL. DM me and be my guest. Nothing but love. I wouldn't have invited him to crap. I wouldn't have invited him. I would not have given him a free meal. Nothing. Because nothing about that warranted a kind response. To be honest with you, I just would have flooded my restaurant and reviews. I would flood my restaurant with great service to other people and encourage them to leave positive reviews versus trying to serve someone like that. Because why would you want somebody like that in your environment? I don't know why anyone else who owns a restaurant would want him to come. They would probably be having his picture up and saying, if this man comes in this business, do not serve. And that's okay to do, because just like restaurants have no shoes, no shirt, no service, or we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone for any reason, they absolutely could do that. Because him saying, I'm not stopping. This isn't going to stop me from going to every Black-owned restaurant in America. I'm not stopping my tour. What is your real agenda behind this? Because unless there's goodness behind it, it's not going to work out. I don't care how many followers he has. I don't care how much money he has in the bank. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. So, people are saying things like Keith Lee is the only food critic I trust, saying his review was just unprofessional, and now he is learning in Dade County, when you go low, we go lower. Stay where it's safe at. Another one says, a failed restaurateur reviewing restaurants is crazy to me, and I agree. That's exactly what I was saying and thinking. And someone else says, Darius, girl, you stay in some mess. Every year you in some new drama. It's you, sis. You are the problem. Someone else says, he's a critic now, but couldn't keep the doors open to multiple restaurants, businesses himself. Go with God. And another one says, now this is who Ocho should have came for instead of coming for Keith Lee. At least Keith still advised people to try things for themselves. Darius straight go to these businesses just to tear them down. I'm a firm believer in everyone has their own opinion of how food should taste, but Darius does too much. Someone else says, this is the same man who was putting out the address and places of employment of the female chef who spoke against him, right? The chef who had kids who he posted pictures of to his followers. This is the man who encouraged his followers to do what they will with people's personal info. Okay. So he don't like that energy that came back to him. Now, let me say this, because somebody tried to compare him to Gordon Ramsay. It is completely opposite, okay? First of all, Gordon Ramsay, yeah, it's his brand to be brash, to be, mean and stuff like that. But that is entertainment. It's a show. He is invited to these businesses. They have contracts. These things are known. He's not just popping up at random restaurants and going off on people and telling them that their restaurant is dirty and is trash and the food tastes horrible. It doesn't have any taste whatsoever, blah, blah, blah. That's not what he's doing. And he's also building up these businesses after he does his thing. This dude right here, he is just really just trying to destroy these businesses. It's not the same. He's not trying to help anybody. He couldn't even help himself. And he was running an illegal credit repair business in Georgia. He was fined by the Secretary of State for that, I think like $150,000. And that's also around the time he shut down his restaurants in Georgia. I believe he can't even do business in Georgia anymore because they took his business licenses, or they revoked, his right to conduct business in the state of Georgia because of that. And I just don't have any respect for him, or honestly anyone that thinks that what he's doing is okay, because it's not the same. He is no Gordon Ramsay. He is no one that you may see on these television shows that you see them being rude or mean or whatever. There's even a guy, I can't remember his name, but he's an Army veteran. He has like a 6-episode type show on Tubi, and it's actually pretty interesting. But he goes to restaurants, not just Black-owned restaurants, but he's gone to restaurants, and he may be a bit rude and crass or whatever, but he's actually going in with the intention of helping the businesses. And he has done great work with helping these businesses. He's not doing the Darius Cooks thing where he's just showing up unannounced and he is eating the food, giving reviews on it, and trashing the place. So I don't think DJ Khaled made a good decision when he invited him to come back and saying, DM me or whatever. He doesn't deserve to have an invitation to anyone's restaurant, by the way. I just feel that he has a chip on his shoulder. As much as he may be successful with his Dining with Darius traveling road tour, whatever, of him cooking, there's a lot of information about that stuff as well. Again, I will put a link to Val B's Darius Cooks playlist for his YouTube channel, because it's a lot. And I don't have time to go into all of the things that he has done and has been alleged to have done. But this right here ain't it. And nobody in their right mind would think that this makes sense. It's just so disrespectful And I don't have any surprise that something like this has come up, but he better be careful, because I don't believe that this man threatened to take his life. But you never know. Most people, they're not even going to warn you. They're just going to run up on you. So he might need to think about getting some security while he's doing this traveling tour. But there might be a good bit of businesses that put his picture up in there and saying, "Do not serve." I wouldn't want him in my business. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. But before I go, I'm just going to play a little quick clip of some of the reviews that he has given for some of these restaurants.
You already know it gets a 1 out of 5 for me. I'm Darius Cooks, and I'm reviewing every Black-owned restaurant in America. This is Poppy Cuisine. It's located in Baltimore, and they specialize in Instagram food. Food that looks halfway decent but tastes absolutely horrible. Not only did the waitress spill lemonade on me, but we sent the lemonade back and the ginger ale. They just couldn't get it right. None of the 6 of us enjoyed our food. They claim to have a 3-hour roux gumbo. Well, they need to give me back 2 hours and 45 minutes. Oh, and they sliced the egg rolls before frying them. The place is super popular, and half the city loves it. The other half, well, they think a chicken box tastes better. You already know it gets a 1 out of 5 for me. This is Balk, an urban eatery. It's located in Sacramento, but here's what I noticed. They use absolutely no salt in their food. I'm not sure if I was eating at a restaurant or the Shady Pines nursing home because I was looking for Sophia. I ordered quite a few things. The blackened salmon was pretty horrific. The fried chicken is making the ancestors and their homegirls upset. You already know it gets a 2 out of 5 for me. This is Fixin's, a Southern-inspired outpost owned by former NBA player and former mayor Kevin Johnson. It's located in Sacramento. I ordered quite a few things. The fried green tomatoes were just okay. The pimento cheese dip should just stay pimento cheese. I did try the gumbo. I wouldn't order it again. As you can see, I was able to have a 20-minute conversation with the manager. Be sure to check out the full review.
Okay. So yeah, it's just ridiculous that he is, in my personal opinion, look, anybody can do their own thing and put their own spin on it that other people are doing, but I kind of find it ironic that he's pretty much following some of, not all, the same style of Damon Drops, who does the food reviews, because I don't want to see this dude eating his food and putting things in his mouth or whatever. Like he's trying to be funny a little bit by putting a little comedic spin on it, but you're really hating on people and their businesses. It's cool if you don't really care for the way some things are cooked, or you feel like it needs a little bit more seasoning or whatever, that's fine. But saying things like, I thought I was at the Shady Pines retirement center because I was looking for Sophia and whatever. It's like, man, who would really want you to come to their businesses? I wouldn't want him coming to mine. So anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.